In the global arena of growth and development, two contenders step into the spotlight: the unstoppable Indian economy, with roots tracing back to the eve of independence, and the Indonesian economy with its incredible economic growth. Join us as we delve into the dynamic trajectories of these booming economies. First, let's talk about both countries' strategic location. India is nestled in South Asia, while Indonesia graces Southeast Asia, comprising over 17,000 islands. Both countries share a connection through the Indian Ocean, and they're members of regional organizations like the Indian Ocean Rim Association, IORA, and the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, ASEAN, fostering economic and strategic collaborations. What does this have to do with their economic growth and global collaborations? Both are strategically positioned at the crossroads of trans-Indian Ocean routes, connecting the eastern and western parts of the globe. India's western coast draws it closer to West Asia, Africa, and Europe, while Indonesia bridges East Asia, South Asia, and Oceania. The Andaman Sea forms a maritime border between India's Andaman and Nicobar Islands and Indonesia's Aceh province. Furthermore, the Strait of Malacca, a vital shipping lane, links major Asian economies like India, Thailand, Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, Singapore, Vietnam, China, Japan, Taiwan, and South Korea. Historically, both India and Indonesia have followed a proven method of economic growth. They transition workers from agriculture to more lucrative manufacturing jobs, leading to increased exports and formalized economies. This approach propelled nations like South Korea, Taiwan, and China to prosperity. However, the world has changed. How? Well, many countries are now vibrant democracies and not authoritarian regimes, as seen in the past industrialization success stories. The rise of protectionism and the automation revolution are challenging the traditional export-oriented growth model. Still, India and Indonesia are among the world's top emerging economies. These Asian giants together hold a staggering population of 1.7 billion people, with a youthful median age of 27 in India and 29 in Indonesia, in contrast to China's median age of 37. Over the past decade, China's economy grew at an impressive average of 9%, while India and Indonesia achieved growth rates of 7.7% and 5.5% respectively. And here's the interesting part. According to the IMF, China's economic growth is projected to slow down to 4.5% in the coming year, creating an opening for India and Indonesia. Both countries are predicted to have the fastest growing economies among the top 20 economies in 2023 and the subsequent 5 years. The success of India and Indonesia goes beyond their borders. It holds significance for their citizens and investors, but also for numerous other developing nations seeking reliable avenues for progress. As we delve deeper, we'll discover the distinct yet interconnected paths these two countries are carving for themselves. On the surface, these two emerging economies share intriguing similarities. Charismatic leaders, Narendra Modi of India and Joko Widodo, fondly known as Jokowi, of Indonesia, both gained power in 2014 and are preparing for upcoming elections. They both rose through local political ranks, celebrated for their pragmatic approach to governance and ability to drive change. How have these leaders brought about change in their respective nations? These leaders have implemented policies to drive economic growth, infrastructure development, and innovation, positioning their countries for a more prosperous future. Similarly, over the past decade, India and Indonesia have experienced rapid economic growth. India's GDP expanded by an impressive 71%, while Indonesia's grew by 52%. Notably, the service sector emerged as a key driver of growth in both nations. These economies remain relatively open, with trade contributing to around 40% of their GDP and foreign investments making up roughly 1.5% of their GDP. Another similarity is that despite their progress, a significant portion of their workforce remains informal. In India, 90% of workers and 60% in Indonesia are engaged in the informal sector. Unlike developed nations, both countries operate with smaller government budgets, with public spending accounting for 30% of India's GDP and 18% of Indonesia's. And finally, both nations fall within the lower middle income category. Indonesia's gross national income per person stands at $4,180, while India's is approximately half that amount. That's where their similarities end, and their differences become more pronounced. We'll explore 5 key areas in each country: infrastructure, manufacturing, leading export sectors, industrial policies, and their geopolitical positions. Both India and Indonesia are embracing ambitious infrastructure projects to improve improve their economies. Under President Joko Widodo's leadership, Indonesia has constructed 18 ports, 21 airports, and 1,700 kilometers of toll roads. Meanwhile, India is forging ahead by building a staggering 10,000 kilometers of highways every year. India also boasts a cutting-edge national digital infrastructure, including a biometric identity system and a national payment system known as the United Payments Interface, UPI. How do these infrastructure projects contribute to economic growth? Modern and reliable infrastructure fuels economic growth, propelling activities like services and manufacturing, and attracting foreign investment. India and Indonesia shared the dream of becoming global manufacturing hubs in the 1980s and 1990s, but this dwindled due to political, economic issues and competition from nations like Vietnam. In recent times, foreign companies have been seeking alternatives to China due to various pressures. India and Indonesia are potential choices, yet attracting significant manufacturing investment has proven challenging. For instance, while Apple has 11 suppliers in India, Indonesia has just 2. In contrast, Vietnam boasts 26, Malaysia 20, Thailand 18, and the Philippines 16. Exports fuel both nations, each driven by unique strengths. India excels in technology services, its leading export sector, making it the 5th largest global service exporter. Fusion of engineering prowess, mobile data, and the thriving tech ecosystem fosters startups, while the global shortage of software engineers amplifies India's edge. On the other hand, Indonesia thrives on abundant natural resources like coal, palm oil, iron, steel, and nickel. With a focus on green commodities, it aims to lead in battery and grid materials. Both India and Indonesia champion private sector support to elevate their economies. India's One Nation, One Standard policy nurtures startups in every district, establishes innovation zones, and crafts premium international brands. Boasting 108 unicorn businesses, India ranks after only the United States and China. In contrast, Indonesia's strategy centers around downstreaming, which emphasizes the local refining of natural resources. This involves encouraging multinational corporations to build refineries locally by restricting exports of certain raw materials. Its vision extends to electric car batteries, targeting global production levels. In a world of geopolitical complexities, stability can waver. Indonesia has navigated a balanced stance between China and the West, striving to maintain equilibrium. China's investments in Indonesia have been substantial, overshadowing those of the United States. How is India's relation with China? India maintains a more cautious stance towards China. Ongoing border disputes and escalating tensions have created an atmosphere of caution. This has led India to diversify its industrial strategies and attract Western firms looking to shift away from China. Both the United States and India view each other as strategic partners in the region, potentially counterbalancing China's expanding influence. At first glance, the road ahead seems promising for both economies. They stand on the cusp of rapid growth, with aspirations to uplift their nations, yet they must overcome shared economic hurdles, and these challenges demand careful consideration. What are these hurdles? First and foremost, a significant challenge both countries grapple with is the presence of cronyism and corruption. These harmful practices involve favoring individuals with political connections, often resulting in the unfair allocation of contracts and permits. This has led to a concentration of wealth and influence in the hands of a privileged few, while small businesses struggle to thrive. In Transparency International's 2021 corruption rankings, India occupied the 85th spot out of 175 countries, while Indonesia stood at 96th. Addressing these issues is crucial to foster a more equitable and transparent business environment. Similarly, to elevate the standard of living for their citizens, both India and Indonesia need to channel more resources into crucial sectors like health and education. These two pillars form the foundation of human development and contribute immensely to the nation's progress. Both countries rely on specific sectors to lead their development models. They bank on the concept of wealth trickling down through informal economies or government welfare programs. These models can be effective in the short term, but also need careful management to ensure long-term sustainability. The Indonesian government often seeks to shape and soothe public opinion, aiming to maintain stability and consensus. On the other hand, India's government might sometimes provoke and guide public reactions. While these approaches can yield short-term results, they may have implications that reach further into the future. We've explored the destinies of two economic giants. Now, switch gears and uncover the collapse of a once thriving economy. Click the video on screen now where we break down the Canadian economic crisis and the history behind this economic disaster.